This episode of Let's Just Talk About It contains cursing, not giving a fuck what someone else thinks. So, if you are easily offended, do not like cuss words, then this podcast is not for you. Get the fuck on. It's a lot of cussing here. Did you hear me? It's a lot of cussing, motherfucker.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuning into Let's Just Talk About It, and I am your host, Mr. Amby. And ladies and gentlemen, today, this episode that you're hearing is our 10th episode, because I'm so excited. I'm really so excited, simply because that this podcast is not necessarily taking off, but the train is going, guys. The train is continually, and it's flowing. And I wanted to give a shout out to everybody that shows their support, to the ones who actually really like the podcast. So I really thank you guys for that. And shout out to my boy Rico. Rico, me and him did attempt for him to be on the 10th episode. The Rico, if for those who don't know who Rico is one of the second hosts on the podcast. And me and him, we tried to go ahead and get something going as far as me and him being in two different locations for him to be a part of the podcast. But unfortunately, we have technical difficulties. So be on the lookout for my boy Rico, because he will be on the podcast. And shout out to my boy Pierre out there just whipping it up. He's also on the podcast as well. But I want you guys to meet these people for yourself. I want you guys to hear their story for yourself. And, me telling you about who they are, it won't do too much justice. But shout out to you guys. I do apologize for the late post, but here we go, guys. Today we're going to be talking about let's cancel the culture of toxic behavior. Guys, this toxic behavior in relationships is just not going to work. And then we're going to be talking about inconsiderate managers. Everyone has a job, or if they don't have a job, they might have someone they have to report to on their own, And sometimes managers and bosses can be very, very inconsiderate. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is something that's very, very important to me, and it's road rage. Pay attention to the road. There's too many accidents that's happening. Accidents that could be easily avoided. But in saying that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the news. All right. So, I don't know if anyone heard, but Huey Haha is pronounced dead Monday, October 25th, inside his home with a self-inflicted wound. Now, it's really unofficial of how he killed himself, but word on the street is that he had a breakup, and due to the breakup is what links the self-inflicting wounds for his death. Huey Haha, for those who don't know who he is, Huey Haha is an Instagram, TikTok star. He is known for his funny videos, and a lot of his videos are spreading life and joy into the world. People do know that due to one of his posts that he does deal with depression, so that also could be one of the factors of why he passed away. But shout out to the family. I am praying for you guys, because Huey Haha is one of them type of guys. Is if he's gone, then you're gonna miss his presence. And because this guy was awesome, man. He really was. I don't have it. He wasn't racist. He didn't have nothing crazy he was saying. He was really cool in the game. So it's just to tell you, someone that makes you laugh every day, makes you laugh for a living, day two is not okay. So guys, just be very, very cautious of who you come into contact with, as far as just being the best person that you know how to be, because you just never know how you might affect somebody else's life. All right. I'm going to do it, guys. I was just about to go straight on into it, but I want to let you people know this. I got to go ahead and drop this banger for you one time. Can I get the...
You are a good person. We can see it through your actions. Mangos, kiwis, strawberry, last name fruit, first name passion. Man, you show some love this way since you already know what's happening. When posting videos, pictures, smiley emojis, all up in the captions. Shirt, pants, jacket, shoes, loving how you wear your fashion. Y'all ready? Let's move. Love when you happy and dance.
All right, guys. Look, you all are good people. You got good souls. You are doing the best that you can in this life. If ain't no one else told you, I told you it. Mr. Ambi, him, himself. All right, okay, let's go ahead and get into it. Toxic behavior seems like the thing to be if you're going to be popping in our 2021 culture. Toxic behavior hit the scene when COVID hit. It was always around, but it wasn't really too much something that was said until like COVID. Like around before COVID hit, a little bit before COVID hit, right when it hit. And when you're talking about toxic behavior, I question why would anyone want that in their life. But before we get that deep, I just want you to listen to this clip. Yeah, just hear this out real quick.
I don't get this shit. Yo, I don't get how you smashing old boy makes me look toxic.
Because if it was you who had sex during the break, none of this would have been an issue.
I'm sorry, but no self-respecting man, none, is gonna forgive their girl once they ask for a break and went and smash somebody else. Am I right?
I mean, look, I don't want to get in the middle of your guys' thing here, but if you're asking me what you are, I will say I don't think any self-respecting man is going 6 months without smashing, period. So that's technically on you for agreeing to that.
Unbelievable. So, just because Doug didn't run through a bunch of women, is he gay now too? Just like me?
No, Vivek, because your lips touch the lips of another man, that is what makes you gay.
And Jazz smashing this owl-eyed dude is what makes her a toss.
Damn. And you saying that is what makes you a jerk.
Now, so when I get on to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or just, any social media platform, one of the things that I see usually is a little post that say something about, if she ain't toxic, I can't deal with you, or I might be a little toxic, but I'm gonna be the best thing for you. Having a little toxic, I want a girl with a little toxic in him, and I want a dude that got a little bit of toxicness on him. Being toxic is exactly what it sounds like. It is toxic. If I am a person and I am building myself up and I get into a relationship, I'm not purposely trying to get into a relationship with toxic in front of it. Who wants a toxic relationship? Why are we screwing so many people and it's so fast? You can't really blame it on being young. When you start to blame it on being young, then, at that point, it's like you're not being like an adult about your stuff. And this is not for those this portion of this is not for those who are like, 19, 20, just going to college type stuff. Nah, this is for like us grown people. Us folks that when we get into a relationship and we're dating, we're not dating just because we're looking for sex. We're not dating because, this is something that we just, you play football or you're on a cheerleading team. We're dating for marriage. We're dating to build a future. We're dating to have kids. We're dating to make our mark in this world and hope and pray that our children carry it on. Where is toxic in any of that? What happened to the word prosperity? Like, really? If I'm in a relationship and I'm dealing with this one person, why is it that you're gonna take a break? It takes you less than a day to screw somebody. From both sides of the playing field. That means then, your mind is somewhere else, which we're not talking about relationship advice or anything like that. We're focusedly like, come on now. Stop being toxic. Purposely causing problems. Just for the heck of it. I'm a little bit toxic. No. You got this thing with red flags going on right about now. I'm a little bit toxic. We need to start red flagging that type of stuff. Because if you're a little bit of toxic, I don't need that in my cup. You know what I'm saying? It's like this toxic thing is like being a bartender in a sense, you know? You're a bartender, you gotta make sure that everybody at the bar is above the age of 21. You have a kid that comes up there, they're with their parent, but they're at the bar. Parent leaves, it's not the kid, let's say they're like, what, 17, 18 or something, and they're sitting there and they're like, hey, look, yeah, I want a Sprite. In order for that bartender not to go to jail, they have to give that kid a Sprite without alcohol. Not a dash of alcohol. They give him a dash of alcohol, just a little bit of alcohol. That bartender is gone. Straight to jail. And that's what I'm saying with this toxic thing is if you're looking for prosperity and you want a significant other, why would you take someone being toxic on purpose to be infiltrated into your commitment to be prosperous? Why would you allow that to be somewhere near you? Because I mean, the journey in which that I'm on and what I'm searching for, toxic behavior, I have very little room for it. I really do. And when I see toxic behavior, I began to think to myself, like, why is this person around me? Why do I even care to continue to deal with this person? What am I thinking? And how you can recognize toxic behavior is if the behavior is altering a situation for the worst. You go to McDonald's. You order some fries. The fries are cold. Significant other goes, cuts the people out, and then turns around and cuts you out because the fries was cold. That's toxic behavior. Why would you want that? You know? Instead of just going in there and telling them people, hey, look, these fries are cold. Could I get another batch of fries? And I wouldn't mind waiting. You want to go in there and cuss everyone out, and then plus you want to cuss your significant other out. Toxic behavior is someone telling you that they love you and they want to be with you for the rest of their life. And every night they're cussing you out like a dog. They're cheating on you. But they love you. That's toxic behavior. And toxic behavior does nothing but hinders your life. Think about it. The word is toxic. Us as humans, whenever it's something that we're not supposed to eat or drink, it has a big red label on it that say toxic, warning, toxic. Don't eat that shit. Don't drink that mess, like for real. So, ladies and gentlemen, we as the 2021 culture, we all need to come together and say, look, let's cancel this toxic behavior. Because if we're gonna move forward and we're gonna become better as a society, then we gotta have like little room for toxic behavior. Everything is already bad enough with COVID. It's already bad. You know? I don't need a toxic girlfriend. Ladies, you don't need a toxic boyfriend. It used to be a time where people would go to church together as a couple. That was the thing to do as a couple. We need to bring them type of days back. I'm not saying you gotta be in church, but the intentions was to go to church was just because one, you knew it was one of the right things to do. You felt it in your heart and your soul. And then two, you was looking for something better with the relationship. You wanted the relationship to grow. So that's why you was doing that. So we canceling this topic, this toxic culture. I promise you. If you come in my life, you toxic, you're going to toxic your ass way to the waist though. And that's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on. We're going to talk about inconsiderate managers. Those managers or bosses that you know that are just very inconsiderate of you as an employee. Now, before I get started with all of this, I would say this much is that you do not walk through this life thinking that somebody owes you something. Someone's supposed to kiss your ass. That comes from an employee's point of view and a boss point of view, or a manager's point of view. If you're a manager, don't nobody gotta kiss your ass. Nobody owe you nothing. For the employees, nobody gotta kiss your ass and don't nobody owe you anything either. For the boss, nobody gotta kiss your ass and don't nobody owe you anything either. Granted, these different positions of power gives different positions of power, but the same law still applies. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Nothing. So, when we're talking about insecure managers, not insecure managers, so when we're talking about inconsiderate managers, the reason why they're inconsiderate is because they expect for you to do exactly what you're doing. Work for them, you have no thoughts, you have no feelings, so this is what it is. But my dog died. Don't care. I mean, my dog literally just died. I have a video recording, because I have a video in my home, not me personally, but I have a video recording in my home, and it's showing that my dog just fucking broke its neck jumping off the fucking couch or something like that. I don't know. I got to get my dog, out the crib. I got to go tend to my dog. Manager, don't care. Manager lets people go home, keeps you to do all the hard work. Granted, it's a blessing that you have the job, but that's very inconsiderate if you're going to send everyone else, if you're going to send a certain group of people home because of favoritism, and you keep a certain group, you are doing nothing but making it harder for that group. It's not because they're good workers. It's because you're showing favoritism. When you have specific jobs that needs to be done, and people who are built for those jobs, and they're telling you that they want a better opportunity. Granted, let's say loading and unloading a truck. If you're loading and unloading a truck, and there's people that's fit for it, it only makes sense for you to put them in that position to load and unload trucks. But if them same people are telling you that, hey, we don't mind loading and unloading the truck, but I also want to learn how to drive the truck. But the people that you let drive the trucks are only girls or only boys or whatever like that. Something that is not fair. Managers, when you're on the job and you're doing the best job that you can do, it would help if you would be considerate. And this is not for the managers that out there that are already considerate, but also for the managers who are not considerate. The managers that are not considerate, like, you guys have to get this together. You have to sit down and you have to think about the decisions in which that you're making to get the best results out of the people that are working under you. Because don't get it twisted. These people are not working for you. They work under you. So your boss is not working for you. They are employing you. So which means is you're not your boss's boss. And you're not the employee's boss. Manager, you have to take in consideration the same consideration that your boss gives you. You have to give it in return to the employees. Because everything flows from like the head down. If the boss is a shitty boss and treats you like shit, you're gonna treat your employees like shit. But if your boss is a good person and they treat you with respect and in consideration, then you're going to treat your employees with respect and consideration. But it's fucked up when your boss treats you with respect and consideration, but then you turn around and treat your employees like shit. Now the employees hate you and the boss, but the boss is the better man. And then when they find out that you're the one that's messing up the flow, then it's going to be you that gets fired. You're the one that misses out on the money that they pay big bucks for to deal with certain problems. Managers, please get it together. Your employees are human beings too. I work in the food industry. There's plenty of situations that I have been in where I would be in certain locations and the daggone manager wouldn't allow the employees to eat, but the manager will allow other managers to eat in front of the employees. What type of bullshit is that? So you believe that the employees that just comes there to work and that they don't get hungry, and they're the ones making the food. Because 9 times out of 10, the manager's not helping you. They're managing you. The boss man is the one that owns everything, that really does everything as far as like making sure that the establishment is there. You're not doing anything to make sure that the bills get paid. You're just managing. And employees, if you have an inconsiderate manager, I am not telling you to do no dumb junk where it's like, you know, your bills are due within a week or two. Go ahead and complete that job, but doesn't mean you don't have the right to continue to look for a better job. Especially if you have kids and you have, home responsibilities and you barely get a peace of mind. Do you really want to go to a job and work under an inconsiderate manager? Do you really want to do that? Sometimes you got to question yourself as an employee, because I have been in a position plenty of times where me as an employee, I am uncomfortable to ask for the most simplest things. Like, it should not, when you go to work and you're the one actually making the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, or you're the one that's actually like cleaning up behind people, why should you be afraid to ask for food? Why? Why should you be afraid to be able to speak how you speak? What Charlemagne the God say, speak your truth around the manager when they come around. You don't walk through life like that. And I might be using the wrong term by saying scared or afraid, but why shouldn't you feel comfortable doing these things? It's because they're trying to establish some type of dominance over you. And if I'm going to go work for somebody, I want to be respected. I want to feel comfortable. I want to be able to be myself. Because the work is going to be there. It's not where you work with, it's who you work with. You can have the most shittiest job in the world. You can literally be cleaning up shit. But if you're a supervisor and your coworkers are some of the most coolest people that you ever make, it doesn't make it that bad, you know? So managers, you're in a blessed position. You might have a lot more on your plate. But understand, you can drive your employees away. And that starts a track record for you. I'm at the point now where I'm like, do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah. Please tell me you speak English. I'm Detective Carter. Do you speak any English? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I done had managers. That was my manager on one job. Then they get fired and I go to another job. I got fired. I'm sorry. I get fired. I go to another job. And a year or two later, that janitor, that manager is working as a janitor. Nothing against janitors. Janitors is a really good position, a dope ass position to have too. I've been a janitor before, but what I'm saying to you, that manager is now a janitor, and you're passing them on a train, and they're taking out the trash, and you have a conversation with them. Come to find out, they got fired too, just like they fired you for not kissing their ass. I guess they didn't want to do no ass kissing, huh? I want you to hear this clip real quick.
So tell me why I'm at work, right? He throws out the knife. And what happened? You threw out the knife, and now you're firing me.
Don't follow my instructions. That's my instructions.
Because and then I ask you why, and then you gonna speak to me and say, oh, because I'm your fucking manager. Why would you talk to your employees like that? That does not give you the right just because you're a manager. All right?
So, ladies and gentlemen, the point and the fact of the matter is, if you are inconsiderate of what your employees have going on, expect for your employees to move on. And the same thing vice versa. Employees, your managers, not respecting what you got going on. I think it's time for you to move on. Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Atlanta, Georgia with this podcast. And one of our major issues is that we have traffic, especially downtown. I spoke on this the very first podcast. But we have traffic. The traffic is so bad, it's like, if you're supposed to be home in 15 minutes, you're gonna get home within like 40, 45. And that's not even over exaggerating. That's probably right on point. Really. So traffic, people tend to do things because they are either in a rush or they just don't want to be in traffic. Either or, I don't blame you, because the rushing part is, I don't believe in being in a rush. If you have time to get ready, then you have time to get ahead. So the rushing part, I don't really get. I don't understand that, and that's how I got my first speeding and only speeding ticket that I'm still paying that bitch off. But the people who don't want to sit through that, I understand. Let me give you a story real quick. So the other day, I am minding my own business and I am on my way to work. As usual, I run into traffic. I am in traffic. Here is this Buick that's trying to cut me off. The Buick pissed me off because he was trying to cut me off. So of course, I made it to where he can't cut me off. We're in traffic. I'm trying to get to where I need to be, and I don't need to be cut off. The Buick totally has no regard, or completely disregards the fact that I don't want you getting in front of me. So he gets closer and closer to the point where he's about to hit my car. I keep it moving, and I'm like, hey. Like, I'm honking my horn at this point now. Like, look, dude, the fuck you got going on? Like, stop trying to cut me off. So I roll my window down while I'm honking the horn, acting just like a nigga. What the fuck is your problem? Stop trying to goddamn cut me off. You stupid motherfucker. You don't see me goddamn trying to boom. I done messed around and hit the car in front of me. I'm saying like, goddamn. I felt stupid. I ain't gonna even hold you, cause it's already traffic. So the lady hops out the car. I'm like, damn. Now I'm thinking in my mind, dude, this lady think I was honking at her? I'm like, oh shit. So I put the car in park, I hop out. She's like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, hey, this man tried to cut me off. She takes completely disregarded everything that I say. I don't blame her because I hit her. And she looks at her car. It was no damage to her car. Thank God it was no damage to her car. I look at my car. It was no damage to my car. I guess because we was in traffic, traffic moves a little slow. So, had that been at greater speed, then it would have been a whole completely different conversation. Another thing was she opens up her trunk and, cause she's driving a van, she opens up her trunk and I see, a guy in a suit. She's in the middle of a Uber ride. She's the driver. I felt so bad. I wasn't even as mad as I was before. She says, be careful next time. Pay attention. And she hops in her car. She had a little attitude, but can you blame her? Here I am catching road rage from me not allowing someone to cut me off. And when I got back in the car, I had to think for a second. Why was I even mad at the fact that Buddy was trying to cut me off? Answer my own self, hey, man, that shit kind of rude, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody cut you off is rude. But yeah, but look what happened behind it. Had I let that motherfucker just go, there would have been no me hitting somebody behind. Had I been more focused on the road than focused on the driver and cussing them out for trying to cut me off, there would have been no bump in the back of the car. So I would say to you this, ladies and gentlemen, just for my story alone, is a lot of traffic out here in Atlanta. There's a lot of traffic out there in all these other big states. I mean, not states, but cities. Guys, just pay attention to the road. Safety first. And when I say I can't really put too much stress on that. Like, safety is when you get in that car, people take for granted that the car gets you from point A to point B safely if you do what you need to do. And because they take that for granted, they begin to do reckless behavior. Road rage is really one of the number one cause. Well, outside of driving at nighttime, because those nighttime driving, usually when accidents happen at nighttime, that's when fatalities happen. But outside of that, you're talking about road rage is one of the number one causes of car accidents. Not paying attention. Those two alone are the number one. You get angry, you're cussing someone out, you speed up just to give them the middle finger, and next thing you know, you hit the person in front of you. Now, how stupid do you look? And by me being in that type of situation, well, not flipping the finger, but cussing out, I mean, I felt stupid. I felt really stupid. Because the thing could have been a lot worse. So if you out there, you have your car, your first car, or if you're on your 10th car, and you've been driving for years, or is this your first time ever getting on the road, pay attention to the road. Just pay attention. If someone's trying to cut you off, if you can allow them to cut you off, just allow it. Being mad behind the wheel causes more problems than being focused behind the wheel. Be focused. Stay focused. You ever wonder why when you're going on a family trip, why certain people are the designated driver? You ever wonder why that you feel safe on the bus when you get a good look at the bus driver and what they're about? They're focused. So do you. And I'm gonna take my own advice. No more road rage. I really don't have road rage. That's why I had to sit down and be like, why did I get mad at that person? If you having a bad day and you get on the road, just be aware of the fact that you having a bad day and purposely don't do nothing out of character or anything towards road rage, because that will ultimately be the deciding factor whether if you get to see tomorrow or not, whether if you like it or not. Last thing I want to hear is about someone that listens to this podcast, or someone that I know got into a car accident, they lose their life, and it could have been something that could have been avoided. I'm not playing about this, man. If you're behind that wheel, just focus. The chances of you getting into an accident is slim to none if you focus. There's things out there that you can't control. But if you're focused and you're aware of what's going on around you, you can prevent some of the accidents that could come your way. I've been a Lyft driver for a year and a half. I've been in a lot of situations to where I could have been into an accident, and there's been plenty of times that I've made a prayer to God thanking Him for keeping me out of them accidents. And the reason I was able to avoid them was because I was focused. I'd have been a passenger with one Pacific Lyft driver, and because he was aware, he was able to reverse his car at the appropriate speed to get us out of a situation to where we would possibly have lost our life. Shout out to that driver. I forgot his name, man, but he's a really, really cool driver. Them Lyft drivers out there, man, Uber and Lyft drivers, man, y'all, shout out to y'all. I understand how it could be. I've been a driver for like a year and a half. I already know. So shout out to you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you get a chance, if you're in a ride, just let these people know what it is that you go through. So when they start driving or they get back on the road, they know what to expect and the type of mindset that they should have. Cars are not meant for kids. Cars are meant for adults. Cars are not meant for people with mental problems or health issues, serious health issues. Why do you think if you have 1 or 2 seizures while you're behind the wheel, you're not allowed to drive and you're only 23? This thing is not just a toy for adults. It is something that is used to cause death, if not used properly. That's why it's meant for only adults. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed your time today, but I wouldn't be Mr. Ambi if I wouldn't leave you with some type of word of inspiration today. This inspiration came from me just listening to YouTube, and one of the videos was entitled, "Do It For You." Man, it's a lot of things that we have going on in our life. I know, because our last podcast, that maybe 4 or 5 of you done went and took the route of starting your own business, or if it was only one. You're starting your business because you're doing it for yourself. When you go to work, you're not working for someone else. You're working for yourself. When you work a 9 to 5, even though you are working for someone else, you are still working for yourself. You're working for them because you need money to survive. So that means don't take the same money that you're surviving with and go giving it to people just because they are in a bad position in life. Do it for yourself. If you are going through a breakup and you need to heal, don't heal because you're trying to show that person that you're trying to be a better person. No, heal because you want to be a better person. If you are out here, and this is so sad too. This is very, very sad. If you are out here and you are trying to beat something like a drug addiction or alcoholism because you want to be accepted, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. If you're going to get yourself together and you're going to make yourself a better person, you have to do that shit for yourself. Because even when you beat that addiction, then you won't be respected. You still have the same problems. And when I say you won't be respected, I'm not saying that people won't respect you for it. You will feel that people are not respecting you the way that you want them to respect you because you did it for them. You didn't do it for yourself. The same way you didn't care when you was on drugs, the same way you have to not care about what other people think about you because you're doing what you're doing for you. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is you got going on in life, whatever it is that you feel conflicted with, sometimes it's meant to be selfish. Do what it is that you have to do to make yourself better, and only do it for yourself. Then eventually you'll be able to help somebody else out. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are listening to Let's Just Talk About It, and I'm Mr. Ambi, your host. If you get a chance, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at AMBII_production. If you're hearing this on YouTube right now, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Hit that little bell so we don't have to send you text messages to let you know when we drop a new podcast. I thank you guys for tuning in, and until the next time we speak, peace.